This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Monday morning to you. There's a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander, and in the house, once again, back from his trip all last week, Kelly Midland, everybody. Producer number 9. So much more than a producer.
Good to be back. Good to be back. Fun time in Florida, Gil, but lots of football going on. It's tough to keep up with everything, as you know.
Family's good?
Yeah, it was great. Great seeing the whole family all over the state, driving all over the place. Lots of travel.
And inevitably, there was a family member or two that was upset with you because you didn't spend enough time with them.
Oh, it's like I always feel guilty because you see people for like a day or two, and it's like, all right, see you, I got to go to the next place.
Well, we're glad to have you back. Danny Higgins was awesome for 4 of your 5 days. Wyatt Tomczyk for the 5th of those 5 days. We had a good old time.
Yeah, man. Sounded like it. Sounded like Wyatt was stirring up some problems on Friday. That's what I heard.
Wyatt? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was just doing double negatives a lot. Yeah, so he did.
I don't even know
he
that.
did an Are we sure with like 5 negatives in one question, so I couldn't figure out how to answer them.
Okay. I don't even know about that part. All I know is he texted me on Friday about something about who was doing the show on Monday.
Oh, yeah. He said
like, did you just confuse everybody about who was doing the show on Monday?
He said you weren't going to be here. Yeah.
Thanks, Wyatt.
But you're here. We will do Week 18 guessing lines. This is the squirreliest of all the guessing lines because you have to try to figure out with some of these teams how they are going to play Week 18.
Yes.
Not teams that are trying to get to the number 1 seed. Obviously not teams that are locked in, but teams we have to sort of guess if they care about seeding. We'll get into all of that with all these teams that applies to. First, Circa Survivor update once again. We talked about the Christmas fallout. The Christmas fallout where only one of the remaining 10 lost. The person who went with the Commanders, they hedged, though, with Derek Stevens. They made themselves whole with a few $100,000. Good on them. Well, Kelly, we went from 9 to 6 yesterday. 9 to 6 because 3 had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hope that those 3 guys or gals had some monetization things happening so that they are made to feel whole as well. I would hate to think that they didn't come out with anything in this. So we are down to 6. By the way, one of the 3 is one of the 4 who had the Vikings on Christmas. So coming off that unbelievable survival on the Vikings, then they lose on the Bucs 3 days later.
Oof,
that's tough. But 6 are left. 6. Actual, or I should say implied value, intrinsic value of each of the remaining 6 entries in this $18,718,000 pot. $3,119,666.67. 6 entries left heading into week number 20, if you will, of all 20 weeks.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Man, I would be on the phone so much over the past 2 weeks with people who, whether it was Derek here or people to chop or whatever. Oh, man, this is the time it gets a little nutty.
Though I can't imagine there's a chop because the person who has the Jaguars, for instance, I know the Jaguars, because we talked about this last week when we did Survivor when you weren't here. I said the person who has the Jaguars almost has to save the Jaguars because the Jaguars host the Titans, I believe, right. This week? So that person is probably he's not going to want to have any kind of equitable chop anyway, right? He's going to be like, well, if we're chopping, I'm getting more of it. So anyway, here's where we are.
But even that I'd be okay with. That's right. We have a lot of people that are like, no, like chop it even. I'd be like, I'd be willing to give up a few percentage points for that.
Yeah. I think he probably will be willing to take.
And this is also, we're you and I are usually, I don't want to say anti-hedge, but we don't hedge often.
No.
Seeing that guy hedge over the weekend, I was very happy to see. How much happier are you with a few $100,000 in your pocket?
Anyway, 6 left. Good luck to all. My goodness. Remember, 35 got to the promised land. It was only 18 weeks that year in Circa Survivor. There was 17 weeks of season plus Thanksgiving. Every other year was 20, I believe, 20 weeks since then. 2020, 35 got to the finish line, but then every other year after. 2021 finished with 5. I believe 2022 had 1 elimination in the last week. That finished with 2. 2023, 4. Last year, there were still more. Last year, there was 10, I think, eliminated on the final week. Went from 18 to 8.
That's what I was just going to ask.
Yeah.
8 is what we finished with last year?
8. We finished with 8 last year. So that's really 2022, 1 person, 2024, 10 eliminated final week. And this year we will see how many of the remaining 6 will be eliminated. Good luck to all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's do it. We got a lot to talk about. Without further ado, guessing lines, Week 18 in the National Football League. Let us do this.
Let's do it, man.
I am aware of the scheduling because I was watching the end of that Niners-Bears and kept the TV on and saw the way they broke down this schedule. Pretty interesting.
Did you do you have any problems with that?
No. I understand they got to put 2 games on Saturday. They're locked into that, and they got one.
And we don't want to do a Monday. I get that, too.
And one Sunday nighter. So Sunday's day schedule is going to...
I guess I meant more with, like, the time. I don't know that we needed to wait all that long yesterday to get a schedule.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know.
It felt a little silly in 2025. All right, Saturday we got 2. One early, 1:30 Pacific time, 4:30 Eastern, Panthers at Bucks.
Battle for the NFC South crown. Panthers could have clinched this when the Bucks lost to the Dolphins yesterday. Theoretically, Carolina could have clinched this with a win over Seattle. Not to be. It was 3-3 at the half between Carolina and Seattle. Kind of a weird first half. And then Seattle, to start the third quarter, set up at their own 40 after a kickoff was short of the zone. 2nd and 10 at the Carolina 18. Darnold picked by Mike Jackson in the back of the end zone. Carolina maintains the 3-3 tie, but the very first play of the next drive, 1st and 10 at their own 20, Chuba Hubbard stripped by DeMarcus Lawrence, recovered by Lawrence. Seattle set up at the Carolina 21, 6 plays, Charbonnet in from 2, 10-3. Then 3rd and 3 at their own 41 for the Panthers, down 7 now. Bryce picked by Julian Love, returns at 27 yards. Seattle set up at the Carolina 29. 4 plays, Darnold to Barner from 17 out, 17-3. Seahawks, 5:32 left in the third quarter. Carolina would respond with a 13-play, 69-yard drive. Bryce with an 8-yard run on 4th and 1 at their own 40. 9 plays later, Bryce in from 10, 17-10. Seahawks early fourth quarter. But Seattle, 3rd and 21 at their own 34. Right? This could have gotten interesting. Carolina could have gotten the ball back down 7. Little concession pass to JSN, but J.C. Horn hits him in the face. The face mask extends the drive. They get a Myers 30-yard field goal. They were going to be off the field. 20-10 Seahawks. After a Carolina 4-and-out, Seattle would set up at the Carolina 25. 3 drives starting within the Carolina 30-yard line. 5 plays, all Charbonnet rushes, in from 1, 27-10. That's how it would end. So a final score that looks way worse than it actually kind of was, to be quite honest with you. Seattle with 3 short fields. And again, Carolina a face mask penalty away from having the ball with a chance to tie, or if they went for 2, win it, I guess. Carolina, that's what happened to them yesterday. While they were doing that, Tampa Bay was gacking it to the Dolphins. Tampa Bay, first drive, 14 plays, 68 yards. Baker to Godwin from 5 out, 7-0 Bucks. But the Dolphins, who have nothing to play for, came right back, 3 plays, 65 yards. Ewers to Theo Weiss Jr. for 63. Sure. That's what I love about week 17 and 18. Just names you never hear before.
Yeah.
7-7 late first quarter. It would be 10-7 Dolphins. When Tampa Bay, 2nd and 11 at their own 38, Baker picked deep by Jason Marshall Jr. Miami would go 76 yards. Quinn Ewers to Greg Dulcich from 11 out, 17-7 Dolphins. And then McLaughlin would have a field goal try blocked, a 55-yarder to end the half. So 17-7 Dolphins. These 3 survivors, these poor 3 survivors are like, oh, God, is this really happening? Tampa Bay, second time they got the ball. They got it to 1st and goal to 7, had to settle for McLaughlin 33-yard field goal to cut it to 17-10. Then at 20-10, Tampa Bay from their own 22 to the Miami 32, 1st and 10. Baker picked by Ashton Davis. Next time Tampa Bay gets the ball, again, they're down 10 with 5:20 left, their own 32. All 3 timeouts. They convert a 4th, but 2nd and 3 at the Miami 31. Baker sacked by Bradley Chubb. He gets a nice $900,000 incentive bonus with that sack. Fumbles recovered by Quentin Bell. So Tampa Bay had so many shots at getting back in this game, pardon me, just couldn't. Next time they got their ball from their own 9 with 1:50 left down 10. No timeouts. Baker to Godwin for 59 to start. A sprint from Godwin. 2 plays and a PI later. Baker to Evans from 4 out, 20-17. But by this time, Tampa Bay had no timeouts left, and they needed to recover an onside kick with 50 seconds left. Couldn't do it. Onside kicks now 5 of 50 this year, I believe. They're now 5-51, if I'm not mistaken. And the Bucs lose. So it sets up this game between Carolina and Tampa Bay, the 8-8 Panthers, the 7-9 Bucs at Tampa. Remember, Carolina beat them a couple weeks ago. Baker, by the way, 33 of 44 for 346 in defeat. Now, the winner wins the NFC South, and Tampa Bay would win that, by the way, based on a third tiebreaker edge in common games, in case you were curious. There is one other quirk to this, Kelly. If Atlanta wins out, meaning they beat the Rams tonight, I know that's a big if, but if they beat the Rams tonight and win next week, and Tampa Bay wins that game hosting Carolina, then all three teams would be 8-9, and the Panthers would win the NFC South based on sweeping the Falcons to give them a 3-1 mark in the common games between the three, not the common games, but the the schedule, if you will, between those three teams, while the Falcons and Bucs split their games, leaving the Bucs 2-2 in that scenario. So Carolina has two ways in, if you will. I know one is remote.
Yeah, still something to play for, Atlanta.
But basically, well, Atlanta has something to play for. It doesn't involve them.
Yeah, just to help Carolina.
But I'll say Tampa Bay minus 2.5 here hosting Carolina. Battle for the NFC South title.
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised you didn't go with the straight 3, but it is 3 across the board. Everywhere.
I am surprised that it's 3. I'm surprised that you're surprised that I didn't go with a 3. Why is Tampa Bay has lost 7 of 8 football games?
They're brutal.
Why should they get the full 3?
Because Carolina is an absolutely terrible football team, I think.
Do you know what Tampa Bay is in the NFC? Do you know what place they're in? 11. Dallas and Minnesota and Detroit are all better than them in the standings. We'll come back. Guessing line.
VSiN is live all New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We'll have full regular programming both days, starting with VSiN's By the Books at 7 a.m. and rolling through a numbers game, prop points, money moves, follow the money, VSiN primetime, and cashing out deep into the night. As you're counting down to 2026 and kicking off the new year, VSiN will be right there with real-time betting coverage across the college football playoff, NFL, NBA, and more. Spend your new year with VSiN and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, we'll break down Week 17 in the NFL in our final Monday night game between the Rams and Falcons. Nick Whalen, best bets, props, and picks. Warren Sharp with his picks and recap Week 17 as well. Follow the Money, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, SiriusXM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or get the VSiN Watch app.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Fremont Street Experience is always on, but this New Year's Eve, they're turning it all the way up. See what I did there? Bring in 2026 and countdown under the canopy. Happening December 31st all night long. You'll get 6 live concerts on 3 stages featuring Robin Thicke, Lost Without You, CeeLo Green, and Chingy. Plus a massive countdown and light spectacular on the iconic Fremont Street canopy. 1 ticket, 1 night, just $60, and the party starts at 7 p.m., and it don't stop. Grab your tickets now at VegasExperience.com, the Slotzilla box office, or at any gate location on December 31st. You gonna be there, Kelly? You gonna go to that?
No. I will be asleep.
That is a hard no for
hard no.
Yeah.
Sorry, we wake up really early. I've gotten very used to sleeping through fireworks in Las Vegas.
We does get up early. Brady Kramer on Twitter. We get tweet speed of the book. Brady Kramer. You guys going to discuss Offensive Rookie of the Year this morning? Interested to get your thoughts on the market and the options to hedge as someone holding a Shuck 200-1 ticket. Thanks, Gil. Love the show. Thank you, Brady. Appreciate it. Do we think, first of all, Teteroa McMillan, a slight favorite now. Tyler Shuck, it's a very small plus money. Looks like a mano a mano. Though, there are others who lurk.
Yep.
What do you think right now?
I think it's an absolutely fascinating race, and I think voters could rightfully go in a lot of different directions. Unfortunately, I think it was a really good rookie class with guys that put on great periods of great play during the season, right? 4, 5, 6 week stretches that we saw out of like maybe the top 5 names on the board here of great play. And it kind of just feels like we're sputtering to the end, right?
Yes, we are. We are like sputtering.
That's what it feels like. And I guess the big question, I know we had guests on this show over the past couple of weeks who were talking about Tyler Shuck and grabbing tickets at what was it, 15, 20-1, something like that. Then I guess the question I have, Gil, is do we care that much about what Tyler Shuck does in meaningless games down the stretch of a season?
That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah.
You're handicapping the voters. Will enough voters care about that?
But someone's got to step up and do something, and I don't know that any of these other guys are.
If you are, let me ask it a couple different ways. First of all, and I'll say it again, Tyler Shuck's stats are not better, and maybe really not as good when you throw in running stats. Mm-hmm. Not even as close to as good as Jackson Dart's.
If you throw in running stats,
not even close. Okay, let's just say that. 2, if you are average sports, I won't say average. If you are, super big NFL fan, let's say you're a fantasy player, but you're not a bettor necessarily.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the rookie that you think about the most?
I mean, for the largest part of the season, it was Egbuka and Dart. But that has not been the case for the past 4 or 5 weeks.
But even during that period, was it that big of a thing with those guys? I just feel like Egbuka got hurt so quickly after he was a thing.
Yeah.
Dart, same deal. Let me ask it a different way. Who is the most mispriced number on this board? By the way, Teteroa McMillan's minus 105, Tyler Shuck's plus 120, Travion is plus 750, Egbuka leads the double digits at 10-1, Jackson Dart's 13-1. I'm not saying this guy's going to win, but
Fannin? Is that where you're going to go?
Harold Fannin Jr., by actual production, is the most wildly mispriced of these players.
I like that you asked it that way, just because just me knowing you, I was like, okay, Gil's going for something here.
If you are actually looking at numbers, how in the you-know-what is Harold Fannin Jr. 150-1? Right? I'm not saying he's going to win, but he just shouldn't be anywhere near that, right? If you told me 20-1 or 25-1, sure. But I don't know. To answer your question, Brady, there is no clean hedge here because there's too many. It's not a binary thing.
I also think that you've brought it up many times before of just we're always speculating with awards, right? And these odds for these top 5 players. Do you think the winner's coming from the top 5 names on that board?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm like 99%. Yes, I think I'm 99%.
Yeah.
Do I think those odds are truly reflective of what voters are thinking, though? No idea.
Who knows?
Absolutely no idea.
Chris Heath on Twitter. This is why I typically listen on headphones. My wife is now doing terrible renditions of Robin Thicke songs. You are welcome. Let's do another one. Let's do the other one on Saturday.
All right, Saturday. This one is 8 Eastern, Seahawks at 49ers.
All right, this is now for the number 1 seed in the National Football League. National Football Conference. Number 1 seed in the NFC, winner take all. And, of course, you get the NFC West crown in the process. Seattle, we just talked about, beat Carolina, held Carolina to 139 total yards and 10 first downs. And again, Carolina could have very easily had the ball with a chance to tie it up. Last night, in case you missed it, between the Bears and the Niners. Wow. Niners first play. This is a tennis match. Niners first play. First and 10 at their own 26. Jalen Johnson steps in front of Juwan Johnson. Ball tips up in the air to T.J. Edwards. 34 yards to the house. 15 seconds in, it's 7-0 Bears. And Trent Williams, by the way, in chasing T.J. Edwards, pulls his hammy. Would not return. So it was just a horrible, every which way, injury to insult for the Niners 15 seconds in. But then, 9 plays, 55 yards. Big Purdy to Tonjes, 18-yard pickup on 3rd and 7 at their own 38. The key play, 6 plays later, Purdy to Tonjes from 1 out, 7-7. Then, people won't remember this, a Bears 3-and-out, a San Francisco punt, their first since November, and a Chicago 3-and-out. And you're like, oh, this isn't, nothing wrong with this game. San Francisco, McCaffrey for 41 to start. Robinson Jr. for 15, Purdy for 10, 14-7 Niners. Still 4:52 left in the first quarter. Chicago, 5 plays, 77 yards. Caleb to Burden, Luther Burden from 35 out. We're tied at 14 with 2:58 left in the first. San Francisco, 9 plays, 75 yards. Purdy to Pearsall for 30, the big chunk. 7 plays later, McCaffrey in from 5, 21-14 Niners. 13:44 left in the second quarter. And Chicago, 3 plays, 65 yards. Monungai for 18. Caleb to Monungai for 11. And on a free play, Caleb to Loveland from 36 out. 21-21. San Francisco, 15 plays, 72 yards, and 8:57, including a 4th and 3 conversion at the Chicago 38. Purdy to Pearsall for 14. 7 plays later, Purdy in from 3. Teach him how to Dougie. 28-21, San Francisco. That would be the score at the half. 330 to 154 in total yards. The Niners had 330 first half yards. They're up a touchdown. Opening sequence, opening drive, third quarter. Chicago, 10 plays, 65 yards. 5:09 off the clock. Caleb to Jade Walker for 19 on 3rd and 14 at the San Francisco 46, followed by Caleb to Burden for 24. 3 plays later, Swift in from 2 on 3rd and goal. 28-28. 9:51 left in the third. San Francisco, 8 plays, 65 yards, and 4:59. Purdy to Bourne for 25 to start. 7 plays later, Purdy to Juszczyk from 6 out. What a play where Purdy missed Juszczyk early, evaded 2 defenders, looked like he's going to run, then hits Juszczyk wide open in the end zone. 35-28. Guess what? Chicago, 9 plays, 80 yards, 4:58 off the clock. Last 2 plays, Caleb to Loveland for 9 on 4th and 5 at the San Francisco 31 to end the third quarter. Swift in from 22 to start the fourth. 35-35, 6 seconds into the fourth. First time in a regular season game in NFL history that a game has been tied at 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, and 35-35.
That makes sense. I didn't think about it in the moment, but that makes sense.
Then, like Sing the Yeti, a San Francisco punt. Chicago then held to a Santos 29-yard field goal. They go up 38-35 with 5:22 left. San Francisco with the ball. 7 plays, 75 yards. Purdy to Juwan Jennings from 38 out. 42-38. San Francisco with 2:15 left. And the only thought for Niners fans and Niners backers at this point was, did we score too quick? Chicago from their own 35. All 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning. They get to 2nd and 5 at the San Francisco 26. 2 timeouts left. Caleb under pressure. Misses a wide open Duvernay. If he had just hit him, he has a prairie to the end zone. There was a few of those from Caleb last night. 3rd and 6. Burden drops it. 4th and 6. Caleb to Loveland for 13. Bears use their final timeout with 26 seconds left. 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 13. Caleb throws it away. 2nd and 10 with 21 seconds left. Caleb to Loveland. Hook and lateral to Swift, but stopped at the 2. Remember, they have no timeouts. Clock runs. Spike it with 4 seconds left. 1 play for all of it. Remember, the Bears, who already clinched the NFC North with the Packers loss the previous day, still had a shot at the number 1 seed. Niners win out. They get the number 1 seed. Caleb eludes the rush. Flushed out to the left. Looking for Jade Walker in the end zone. Incomplete off his back foot. Threw it low. Ball game. Niners survive. Unbelievable football game.
That was a fun one.
And so it sets up the Seattle at San Francisco for all the marbles, including the NFC West, but for the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. The 13-3 Seahawks, the 12-4 Niners. With that Niners defense, I don't think they could be a full 3-point favorite. I split the difference. I said Niners minus 1.5.
Yeah, you're pretty spot on. Most places 1.5. I believe DraftKings opened the Seahawks 1, but yeah, everybody in that range right now.
496 yards of offense for the Niners yesterday, but they gave up 440 of offense. You take away more from the Niners or the Bears in that game?
Oh, boy. How about this answer? Nothing from either. These are two teams that I expect good offensive play from, and I expect defenses to struggle. We saw an early turnover from the Bears. That's what they do on the defensive side. No surprise, but those offenses are lethal.
We got to talk about Coach of the Year on the other side. That, to me, is an interesting conversation. And more guessing lines. Looking for value Week 18. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Got a good thing coming. Just wait and see. It's a good.
Your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Profit X, the #1 sports prediction market, has some of the best future pricing you'll find on college football, national championship, and Super Bowl odds. With a huge holiday slate shaping playoff seeding, now's the perfect time to get in and take advantage of Profit X's 20% purchase match. Download Profit X today and experience the future of winning. Use promo code VSiN to get started. We get tweets speeding the book. Brad Magnus. I unfortunately was on the Bucks in Circa Survivor, as I had a percentage of an entry that took them. I don't like the phrasing on that. He says he's in Circa Survivor, but he had a percentage of an entry that took me out. The most frustrating part of it was why they chose. Oh, he didn't have any autonomy in this though. Just had a percentage. He said the most frustrating part of it was why they chose a struggling Bucks team on the road instead of the Bengals at home. Yeah, Brad, I feel you, man. I feel you. It's a tough one. Jason H11, welcome back, Kelly. Who does your niece like in the college football playoff games? I'm assuming after a week with you, she's now a full-blown degenerate.
There was a couple of sweats. Hey, a couple nieces and the nephew, they all got to experience Christmas. I don't know about you, Gil. Christmas was a rough day. It was an expensive one. Christmas Day, oh yeah. Between the thunder going down, the Lions going down, it was that was an expensive Christmas.
The NBA cappers have not had a good stretch here.
Last week was rough.
Steve the Proxy. He sent this yesterday right after the end of the Bills Philly game, which we'll get to. But he says, "Can I get a check-in?" Oh, he tagged Lombardi. He said, "Can I get a check-in from Lombardi for McDummy coaching malpractice in Buffalo?" Gil, why is it so hard to understand situational football in critical situations, dominating the entire second half, and decide to flip a coin with weather and Fangio versus a hobbled Josh Allen? He's talking about the Bills' decision to go for 2. And I responded to him. I said, actually, in my opinion, a tie did the Bills no good for the AFC East race. And Allen was gimpy at that point, not to mention that an extra point had just been blocked. But for me, at the beginning of that drive, even when they were like backed up, I was like, they got to go for 2 if they score a touchdown on this drive.
I was going to be very okay with either decision there. I thought with how bad Philly's offense had played in the second half, I would have zero issues with them kicking an extra point, go to OT. I know we're going to get to this game. Obviously, we'll talk more about it. I think the biggest surprise to me was the play call, though. And the play call ended up being okay. Like, I know Josh Allen's
missed.
I know he's got a banged up foot. It's still Josh Allen. If you can run, I am running Josh Allen in that situation.
Shakir was wide open. He just missed him.
Yeah, he just missed him.
So we have a great doubleheader on Saturday then, as we just discussed, right? We have the battle for the NFC South title between the Panthers and the Bucks, and the battle for the #1 seed in the NFC between the Seahawks and the Niners.
Great might be overselling it a little bit, but yeah, we have
as far as week 18,
an important doubleheader.
Let's put it this way. There was we were in a situation where we could have even less settled before.
Oh, I know.
So, let's take what we can get. But as I mentioned with the Niners, and by the way, with those lines, I don't think Tampa Bay should be a 3-point favorite. If anything, I'd take the Panthers. I'm not racing to bet it yet, but I lean Panthers there. But for Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel -130, Kyle Shanahan from last night's Niners victory 2-1. Our guy Mike McDonald 7-1. Like, our tickets aren't that much better that we got preseason on this. He's 7-1. Liam Cohen deserving 12-1. Sean Payton 30-1. Ben Johnson 60-1. Got Ben Johnson loses one game, he drops at 60-1. D'Amico 251. Canales 250-1. McVay 250-1. These are all worthy candidates of this thing. But can let me just make the case for Kyle Shanahan. I know you talked about it in the offseason.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, wish I
would have bet it.
Okay. Nick Bosa, out for the year. Fred Warner, captain of the defense, out for the year. These are not rando players. These are like NFL superstars. Brock Purdy, lest we forget, missed 8 games. Shanahan made Mac Jones look like a viably good NFL quarterback.
Which I think that's actually the most important one. You won with 2 different quarterbacks.
Pearsall missed 7 games. Kittle missed 6 games. Brandon Ayuk didn't even show up. I guess what I'm saying is, and I don't have a ticket on this, I have a ticket on McDonald. I wish I had one on Shanahan.
Yeah.
I just think in a extremely splintered Coach of the Year vote, because there's going to be tons of guys getting votes. Mm-hmm. In an extremely splintered Coach of the Year vote, I wonder if those injuries, now, again, this is if they win on Saturday, let me preface it by saying that, and they get the number 1 seed. If they don't, he probably doesn't get it. Is that stupid? It is, but it probably comes down to that. But if Shanahan and the Niners get the number 1 seed, I think in a splintered vote, that's about as sure of a handicap that there's going to be 5 or 6 of them that vote for him just on on that injury list alone. I mean, and I'm not taking anything away from Vrabel or McDonald or anybody else, but good God, it's insane what they've overcome.
It's wild. Yeah,
it's insane.
He's absolutely in the conversation. I think Vrabel's the rightful favorite right now, and if they capture 1 seed, I think it is likely him. But this is another one, Gil. Like, I don't like. Are we sure Ben Johnson's out of it after last night?
I'm not, but I'm not. I'm not sure.
He's still maybe the most impressive coaching job of the season.
Agree, because Caleb looks great. Besides, when he misses wide open receivers, but other than that, he looks great.
And if you want to sit here and argue with me about Liam Cohen until the end of the day, you got a case to make.
That's why I mean, like all those names on that screen. We just went 9 deep. You can make a case for all of them.
I don't even know that I hate. I don't know that I'm going to run and do it because we do have McDonald tickets. I've got a couple. I don't hate the idea of running out and scooping Cohen, Ben Johnson. I don't think they're completely out of this.
And then Vrabel will win and you'll lose them all, kind of thing.
I mean, I just think this is one. I don't think these odds are truly reflective of how close this race is.
I would agree. That's why I think like the laundry list of, and not just injuries, massive injuries to like huge players. By the way, Trent Williams didn't even play last night right after he pulled his hamstring on the very first play. Still overcoming.
I know it's not many wins, but like Dave Canales, like I don't think he has a good quarterback. And he's about to win.
We're still trying to figure that out. Let's do one on Sunday.
All right, Sunday, early window. So 1 Eastern, every kickoff 1 Eastern or 4:25 Eastern. Then on Sunday for the 2, no 4:05s. 10 Pacific time, 1 Eastern, Packers at Vikings.
All right, Vikings we already talked about after Thanksgiving. They upset the Lions. And 4 survivors got through on that. Of those 4, 1 has since survivor passed away, if you will. Brosmer was 9 of 16 for 51 in that game, sacked 7 times. Also Brosmer, same thing. 9 of 16 for 51.
Still trying to figure out how this happened.
Oh, it was historical. We put up the OptaStats. Never happened before.
Brosmer. Brosmer.
But the Lions were -6 in turnovers. They turned the ball over 6 times. That'll do it. Green Bay, for those who missed it on Saturday, Green Bay loses to Baltimore. Baltimore, 12 plays, 75 yards. Henry in from 3 on an 8-minute drive, 8 minutes, 5 seconds, 7-0 Baltimore. Then Green Bay, Willis to Dobbs for 40 after 12 men on the field in a false start. Willis to Watson from 39 out. We're tied at 7. Baltimore responds. 13 plays, 74 yards. Took half a quarter. Henry in from 1, 14-7 Ravens, early second quarter. Then, after Green Bay 4 and out, 3rd and 1 at their own 34. By the way, Willis was stuffed on 3rd and 4, and then 4th and 1, Jacobs was stuffed by Roquan. Baltimore set up at the Green Bay 34. They get a loop field goal to extend the lead to 17-7. Green Bay second play, 2nd and 3 at their own 34. Willis fumbles, recovered by Mike Green. Baltimore set up at the Green Bay 30. They get another loop field goal to make it 20-7. And then Green Bay would go 5 plays, 76 yards. Willis in from 22, 20-14 Ravens. 1:24 left in the half, but that's plenty of time in this league. Baltimore goes 7 plays, 65 yards, and 1:14. Huntley for 25, the big play, in addition to a likely 11-yard catch with an unnecessary roughness tacked on. Henry in from 3, 27-14 Ravens at the half. In the first half of that game, Green Bay ran 14 plays, and one of them was a kneel down. So really it was 13 plays, and they're down 27-14. Third quarter, Green Bay 74 yards. Willis to Reed, Jaden Reed. See what I did there? Willis to Reed. Willis to Reed for 30. To Watson for 31 on consecutive plays. Leads to McManus, 24-yard field goal, 27-17. Next time Green Bay got the ball, 6 plays, 86 yards. Willis to Melton for 34. Willis in from 11 to close it out. 27-24 Baltimore. Green Bay may pull this off late third quarter, but it was all Baltimore from there. 12 plays, 85 yards, and 652. Henry for 30, the big chump. Huntley to Flowers from 10 out, 34-24. And then Willis aggravated his shoulder. Had to leave the game for a couple plays. Tune in. Clayton Tune, second play, 2nd and 10. The Baltimore 35. He's picked off a deflection by Marlon Humphrey. And Baltimore goes 10 plays, 58 yards. 10 plays, 68 yards to seal the deal. Henry in from 25. 41-24 Ravens. Henry with a monster game for the Baltimore Ravens. 307 total rushing yards to Baltimore as Henry goes over 200 yards yet again in his illustrious career. This is Green Bay at Minnesota. Green Bay's locked into the 7th seed, Kelly. They've got nothing to play for here. Nothing. No win, no loss, doesn't matter. They are the 7th seed. They will travel to whoever the 2 seed is for the wild card round week of the playoffs, the 9-6-1 Packers. So I don't know how they're going to play this. So I made Minnesota a no man's land 5.5 point favorite because I figure the Packers are just going to sit everybody.
Yeah, we are. You're close. Anywhere between, there's 5.5 on the board. 5.5 and 6.5 out there.
Yeah, Packers have no incentive to do anything in this game. That's why Week 18 is the squirreliest of them all. That one at least we get. Tougher ones coming up.
Want to bet smarter this holiday season? VSiN's Pro Holiday Special is the perfect gift. Get VSiN Pro access through May 1st for just $79. That's daily best bets, real-time splits, AI-powered prop projections, 24/7 video, and expert coverage of every major sport, from college bowls and NFL playoffs to March Madness and the Masters. Plus, postseason betting guides to make you a sharper bettor. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
You know what? I'm going to blame Andy Reid for cronyism because Matt Nagy stinks. A guy like Jefferson, you got to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem, and he's been part of the problem.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on the numbers game, live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin, everybody back in the house here at Circa. Nice to see you, sir.
Yeah, man.
Danny and Wyatt and Weilers, they were both great.
I can't remember if I said it on air, but I appreciate them filling in as always. I'm sure they did a great job.
We get tweets at Beating the Book. Grayson Rossi and Trent Williams got hurt last night, didn't play most of the game. I mentioned that. Didn't play after the very first play. But shouldn't Ben Johnson win just on the basis the Bears made the playoffs and the Lions look lost on offense and missed the playoffs? LOL. You know what? As good a reason as any. Seriously. Brian Young, Notorious Guns. Best way to start the week listening to a numbers game with Gil and the returning Kelly Bidlin, wondering if we're going to get a Monday morning rant from Kelly, or is he still in the holiday spirit? Great show, gents. Thank you, Brian.
I'll give you a Monday morning rant for you.
Please.
I was telling this to Rob before the show. You know that commercial? We like to talk about commercials.
Yeah.
You know that commercial that they're like in whatever airport lounge and they're like all watching the game, having a beer or something. They're like the loudspeaker comes on, like your flight's been delayed an hour and a half, and everybody celebrates because they get to watch the end of the game.
Yeah.
Not as fun when you're stuck on the plane, sitting on the tarmac, waiting for like 16 flights in front of you to take off. We were Fort Lauderdale Airport. On the plane, we didn't take off for like an hour and a half. Everybody's on the plane, we're just sitting there. I watched the Texans game. Chargers-Texans, I watched 3/4 of. On the plane before taking off. Not as fun.
It's brutal.
Not as fun as that commercial would portray if you're still at the airport.
Can we talk about that Trevor Lawrence,
yeah,
Travis Hunter commercial? What were they thinking?
Yeah, I don't know.
I still will go back to my experience trying to see my mom in D.C. 2 years ago when 10 hours from scheduled flight time to actual departure. You couldn't go home because they never really told you it would be a 10-hour delay, right? They just strung you along all day. We got on the plane twice and deplaned twice.
I've never had to do the deplane. That sounds terrible.
And they lied to us every which way they could.
I'd be so scared of that because I'd be the guy that if we deplaned, I'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Like, I'm so tired of this. I'm just going to go find something else. I'll figure it out. And then I'd screw that up somehow. I'd be that guy.
James Fessler. Wasn't there a preseason Coach of the Year checklist for past winners? Just wondering which current ones still fit into those. For example, Niners preseason 10.5 win total may hurt Shanahan. Injury issues withstanding, of course. Yes, that came to us from Cleve TA.
Yep.
That would absolutely render Shanahan as not a candidate, right? It's basically the parameters of who wins Coach of the Year. The issue is that laundry list of injuries and still being able to get the number one seed. You would think if there ever was a scenario that would trump those parameters, that might be it. But yes, we should probably get those out from Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the one where it's always Vrabel's kind of always been the cleanest fit. It's the improvement on wins over a year, and that was what we brought it up all during the offseason. We did talk about Shanahan. It was, well, it's injuries to overcome. Is that going to be a thing in a tough enough division? We knew this division was going to be tough.
It's insane. Like if you step back, it's insane what they've done. Because
it's wild.
You talk about other teams. Okay, I'll bring up Washington. Washington still has the most starters lost to injury this year than any other team. But Washington hasn't lost players like the Niners have, like Bosa and Warner and Purdy and all that. I guess they have with Jaden. But, like, they're not good enough to overcome that. Niners are not only good enough to overcome it, they're overcoming it in the most competitive division and perhaps to get the number one seed. It's incredible.
All right, so here are some of those trends from Cleve TA that we did during the offseason. 20 of the last 21 winners ended the season with 10 or more wins. All 20 had 9 or more. Okay, so most of those guys.
No cancellations there.
Yeah, it's pretty much everybody on there, right? 14 of the last 15 winners came from teams with 11 or more wins, so 11 or more, 14 of the last 15. Average preseason win total of the last 24 winners is 7.7 wins. No winner in the last 17 years came into the season with a win total of greater than 9.5.
So that would knock out Shanahan.
Shanahan and McDonald right on that range.
And I believe McDonald's right on there.
And Peyton, too, right? They were up there, right? Like 8.5, 9.5?
Yep.
Some of these you might argue with us by one win, sorry. 13 of the 14 winners came into the season on a team that were underdogs to make the playoffs.
Well, there you go. Again, as you said, cleanest is the Patriots and the Bears, right? Those are the cleanest. Mm-hmm. Panthers, that kind of thing. So there you go. Jaguars were cuspy in terms of playoffs. All right, let's do one more.
All right, early window, Browns at Bengals.
Browns at Bengals, 4-12 Browns, 6-10 Bengals. By the way, the Bucs I mentioned were right now are in 11th place in the NFC and have a chance to make the playoffs by winning their division. The Bengals are the equivalent 11th place team in the AFC, just to give you an idea where the Bucs are, having lost 7 of 8. Cleveland beats the Steelers. This game was of consequence yesterday. Steelers' magic number was 1, heading into the weekend. 1 Baltimore loss, 1 Pittsburgh win, and the division is theirs. Well, Baltimore beats Green Bay on Saturday, as we just talked about, and the Steelers gack it to the Browns, 13-6. So there is a game coming up Sunday night for the AFC North title. We'll get to that. But as far as the details of this game, 3-0 Browns. Shador, 6 plays, 86 yards. Shador to Tillman for 42 to start. To Fannin Jr. from 28 out to end. 10-0 Browns. 5:11 left in the first quarter. 10-3 then. Later, Cleveland first and 10, the Pittsburgh 46. Shador picked off a deflection by Jack Sawyer after a 27-yard return. Pittsburgh set up at the Cleveland 31, 4th and 1 at the Cleveland 22. Rodgers incomplete, intended for Scotty Miller. Boswell would add a 40-yarder by the end of the half. 10-6 Brownies. Then Boswell would miss a 54-yard field goal try. Cleveland 2nd and 5 at their own 49. Shador throws it up for grabs. Just terrible decision. Picked by Kyle Duggar. But Pittsburgh could do nothing with it. They punt. Pittsburgh then later from their own 20 with 2:16 left in this game. Remember, they're down 10-6. All 3 timeouts. 4th play, 4th and 10 at their own 20. Rodgers pass batted down by Shelby Harris. Cleveland with 1:58 left at the Pittsburgh 20. They settle for a Schmidt 33-yard field goal to make it 13-6 Browns with 1:40 left. Pittsburgh with no timeouts from their own 35 with 1 minute 40 seconds left. Rodgers to Miller for 15. 2 plays later to Freiermuth for 29 over the middle. To Freiermuth for 11. First and goal at the 10. Or as we like to say, first and Wishnev. He's got great theories about first and goal at the 10, which I think he's absolutely correct on. Very difficult to score. First and goal from the 10 or the 11, that kind of thing. To Thielen for 3. Second goal incomplete. Third and goal incomplete. 4th and goal, Romo. This is just Romo saying they'll go for 2 if they score. No, they won't, because a tie helps the Steelers. Anyway, they don't get there because it's incomplete. Rodgers losing his mind because he thought Denzel Ward was interfering with MVS, his intended receiver. No flags. Rodgers blames refs afterwards. Steelers lose. Browns win at 13-6. And then the Bengals, in case you missed this game had no consequence or anything, but just so you know, Bengals win over the Cardinals, crushed them 37-14. I don't even know if we have to go into that game. Let's not even bother. Burrow 24 of 31 for 305. They held Arizona 233 total yards. This was a 16-7 game. Cincinnati. The big play, a Keyshawn Williams 43-yard punt return late in the first half that set up the Bengals at the Arizona 36, and that's when they blew it open 23-7. Got to 37-7 before a garbage touchdown, 37-14. Browns at Bengals. I'll just say Bengals minus 5.5. Let's go no man's land again.
7.5 on the Bengals side for the season finale.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Have any postscripts about the Browns and the Bengals that I'd like to share here with one game left in the season? Anything?
Sure.
As a funeral.
I actually kind of do. Well, first of all, I can't wait to watch that game just for Myles Garrett, right? Like potential history
Still
on the line.
Still a half sack back.
Yep. Potential history on the line there. I still think, we'll probably ask Adam Burke about it again later, but like, what's in the Browns quarterback future? What are you thinking there? Every week that goes on, I'm not saying the guy's been anything special or great or anything, but Shador, what did you say during some of these meetings that just no team wanted any part of you? Because he's still better than Dylan Gabriel to me, and it's not really all that close.
Agree.
Like, obviously we heard the reports, so I would really love to know what he said. And then what's the future of the Bengals and all their stars, right? And Joe Burrow, and they're rolling out everybody in this game and just to try to finish the season on a high note, I guess.
Here's where the draft stands. The draft order stands with one game left in the regular season. The Las Vegas Raiders are in the number 1 position after they lose to the Giants yesterday. Lose badly, by the way.
Yeah, they earned it.
If they lose Week 18, the number 1 pick is theirs. If they win, there might be trouble. But if they lose, it's theirs. Giants are 2nd. Jets 3rd. This is current draft order. Vegas 1, Giants 2nd, Jets 3rd, Tennessee 4, Arizona, who's lost to 8 in a row, by the way, 5th. The aforementioned Browns are 6th. Washington 7, New Orleans 8, Kansas City 9, and the aforementioned Bengals 10. By the way, the Rams right now would have the 11th by way of Atlanta in the James Pierce trade. So there you go. There's your top 10 bottomers with 1 week left in the season. All right. Still looking for value. So far, just a lean towards Carolina. It's the whole point of this exercise.